You're going to die one day. And when that moment comes, none of your excuses will matter. Not the perfect timing you were waiting for. Not the motivation that never showed up. Not the fear that kept you paralyzed. You'll just be gone. And the life you could have lived, it dies with you. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because right now, today, you're wasting time, and you know it. Here's what you're about to discover. The exact mental framework that turns procrastination into action. The Stoic principles that forced Roman emperors to stop making excuses and start building empires. And the harsh truths about time that will make you physically uncomfortable. But that discomfort? That's the point. Because comfort is what's killing you. Let's start with the biggest lie you tell yourself every single day. I'll do it tomorrow. You say it about the business, the relationship, the health goal, the dream. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And suddenly you're looking back at an entire year, wondering where it went. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote in his personal journals that he could die at any moment. Not as a morbid obsession, as a daily reminder. When you truly accept that your time is limited, you stop treating it like it's infinite. But you don't accept it. You live like you have decades guaranteed, like there's always more time. There isn't. Every morning you wake up is borrowed time. You didn't earn it. You weren't promised it. It's a gift. And what are you doing with it? Scrolling, complaining, waiting for the perfect moment, avoiding the hard conversations, delaying the difficult work. The Stoics had a practice called memento mori. Remember you must die. Sounds dark, right? It's actually liberating. Because when you remember that your time is finite, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. You stop spending hours arguing with strangers online. You stop binge-watching shows you don't even enjoy. You stop saying yes to things you hate. You stop waiting for permission to start living. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think acknowledging death means living recklessly, quitting everything, burning bridges, chasing every impulse. That's not Stoicism, that's chaos. The Stoics understood something profound. Urgency without discipline is just panic. You need both. The urgency to act now, the discipline to act wisely. Think about Seneca, wealthy beyond measure, could have spent his entire life in luxury and distraction. Instead, he wrote daily about the value of time, about how we complain that life is short, but we waste most of it. We give our time away freely to things and people that don't deserve it. Then we act shocked when we run out. You're doing this right now. You know exactly what you should be doing, the project you should start, the habit you should build, the person you should reach out to, the change you should make. You know. But you're not doing it. Why? Because it's hard. Because it's uncomfortable. Because you might fail. Because people might judge you. Because it's easier to scroll than to struggle. Epictetus was born a slave, physically disabled, had every reason to give up, to accept his circumstances, to waste away in bitterness. Instead, he became one of the most influential philosophers in history. Not because life was easy, because he refused to waste it. What's your excuse compared to that? Let me tell you about someone I know. We'll call him David. Smart guy, talented, had a business idea he'd been talking about for 3 years. 3 years of, I'm working on it, and soon, and when the timing's right. Always researching, always planning, never launching. Then his father died suddenly. Heart attack. No warning, 62 years old. And David realized something that shattered him. His father had dreams too. Things he wanted to do someday. that someday never came. David launched his business 2 weeks later, not because it was ready, not because he felt prepared, because he finally understood that waiting for perfect conditions is just another way to ensure you never start. That business is thriving now. But that's not the point. The point is, he stopped lying to himself about having unlimited time. You need to hear this. Every day you delay is a day you'll never get back. Not in better circumstances, not with more resources, not when you're more motivated. That specific day, with all its potential, is gone forever. The Stoics called this voluntary death. You're alive, breathing, capable, but you're choosing to be dead to possibility, dead to action, dead to the life you could be living. And the tragedy isn't that you might fail. The tragedy is that you never even try. You're killing your own potential through inaction. Now I know what you're thinking. But I'm busy. I have responsibilities. I can't just drop everything. Wrong. That's not what this is about. The Stoics weren't telling you to abandon your duties. They were telling you to stop abandoning yourself. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire. He had actual life and death responsibilities. Yet he found time every day to write, to reflect, to improve. Not because he had extra hours in his day, because he made the time, because it mattered. You have time. You're just spending it badly. Track what you actually do for 3 days, every hour. You'll be horrified at how much time you waste on things you'll barely remember next week. Social media, mindless YouTube videos, gossip, worrying about things you can't control, complaining, making excuses. All of it is time you're choosing to throw away. Here's the shift. From this moment forward, every choice becomes a question. If I knew I had 1 year left, would I spend my time this way? Not as a hypothetical exercise, as a real filter for your decisions. Would you spend 3 hours scrolling if you had 1 year left? Would you avoid that difficult conversation? Would you stay in that job you hate? Would you keep delaying that dream? The answer reveals everything. But you have to be honest. Brutally honest. Because self-deception is the easiest trap. You'll tell yourself lies that sound like wisdom. I'm being practical. I'm being responsible. I'm waiting for the right time. Sometimes those are true. Usually they're just fear wearing a sophisticated disguise. Seneca wrote that we're not given a short life. We make it short by wasting it. Think about that. Your life isn't too short to pursue your dreams. You're just using it badly. You're giving away your hours to things that don't deserve them. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you're saying no to something meaningful. Every time you choose distraction, you're rejecting progress. Every time you wait for tomorrow, you're stealing from today. And the cost compounds. Not linearly, exponentially, because the time you waste isn't just lost in itself. It's lost potential, lost momentum, lost compound growth. A year of wasted days doesn't equal 365 lost days. It equals 365 days of progress you'll never recover. So what do? Start with this. Tonight, before you sleep, write down the 3 most important things you need to do tomorrow. Not 30 things. 3. The ones that actually move your life forward. Then when you wake up, do them first. Before email, before social media, before anything else. Those 3 things. Non-negotiable. This is called eating the frog. Do the hard thing first while you still have willpower. Will you want to do them? No. Will they be comfortable? No. Will you have 100 excuses why you should do them later? Absolutely. do them anyway. Because this is where discipline separates dreamers from achievers. Everyone wants the result. Few people want the process. But the process is all you have. The result is just a byproduct of showing up every single day. The Stoics had another powerful concept, amor fati, love of fate, not just acceptance. Love for what is, love for the challenges, love for the obstacles, because they're not blocking your path. They are the path. You think your circumstances need to be different before you can start. You're wrong. Your circumstances are exactly what you need to develop the strength required for what you want to build. Easy conditions create weak people. You need the resistance. That job you hate? It's teaching you what you actually value. That failure you experienced? It's showing you what doesn't work. That person who betrayed you? They're revealing who deserves your trust. Nothing is wasted unless you fail to learn from it. But you have to engage. You can't learn from experiences you're avoiding. Here's what happens when you start living urgently with discipline. First, you feel uncomfortable. Your brain will scream at you to go back to comfort. Old habits die hard. They'll fight for survival. Let them die anyway. Second, you'll face resistance from others. People who are used to the old you will feel threatened by the new you. Your growth reminds them of their stagnation. They'll call you crazy, obsessed, changed. Good. You are changed. That's the point. Third, you'll see results faster than you expect. Not because the work gets easier, but because you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. All that focus you were scattering, now it's concentrated. Now it's powerful. Your 1 year of focused effort will accomplish more than most people achieve in 10 years of distraction. But let's be real about something. You're going to fail. Multiple times. You're going to have days where you slide back into old patterns, where you waste time, where you make excuses. This isn't a character flaw. It's being human. The Stoics didn't expect perfection. They expected progress. Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders to himself about the same issues repeatedly, because he struggled with them repeatedly. The goal isn't to never fall. The goal is to fall less often and get up faster. When you waste a day, you have two choices: spiral into guilt and waste tomorrow too. Or acknowledge it, learn from it, and start fresh right now. Not tomorrow, right now. This moment is always your reset point. Think about how you'll feel 5 years from now if you keep living the way you're living today. Same excuses, same delays, same comfort zones, same results. You'll be 5 years older with nothing to show for it, but regrets and what-ifs. Now imagine the alternative. 5 years of focused action, of daily progress, of choosing discomfort over comfort, of doing the hard things. You won't recognize yourself, neither will anyone else, because you'll have become someone completely different. The gap between those two futures is decided by what you do today, right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect. Now. Epictetus taught his students to focus only on what they control. You don't control outcomes. You don't control other people. You don't control the past. You don't control the future. You control your choices, your effort, your attitude, your actions. That's it. And that's enough. That's more than enough. Because your choices compound. One good decision leads to another. One disciplined day builds momentum for the next. You don't need to change everything at once. You need to change one thing today. Tomorrow, you change another thing. Then another. Small improvements compound into massive transformations, but only if you start. Only if you stop waiting. Only if you treat your time like the precious, limited resource it actually is. Here's your wake-up call. You're not going to live forever. You're probably not even going to live as long as you think. The average person gets about 4,000 weeks. You've already used a bunch of them. How many do you have left? 40 years sounds like a lot until you realize it's only 2,000 weeks, and you'll sleep through a third of them. What are you doing with the rest? Really doing? Not planning to do, not thinking about doing, actually doing. Because at the end, that's all that counts. The doing, the action, the choices you made when it was hard. You know those people you admire? The ones who built something, created something, became someone? They're not special. They're not lucky. They just started before they felt ready. They worked when they didn't feel motivated. They persisted when it was hard. You can do that too. Starting right now, let me be direct. This video ends in a few minutes. Then you have a choice. You can close it and go back to whatever you were doing. Scrolling, distracting yourself, waiting for motivation, making excuses. That's the easy choice. It's also the deadly choice. Or you can do something different. You can take one action. Right now. One thing you've been avoiding. One thing you know you should do. One step toward the life you actually want. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be real. Send that message. Start that project. Make that call. Write that first page. Do one push-up. Delete that app. Whatever it is, do it now. Not later. Not tomorrow. Now. Because if you can't do it now, you won't do it then either. And we both know it. The Stoics believed that philosophy wasn't about clever ideas. It was about changing your life. Words without action are worthless. Understanding without application is pointless. You can know everything about Stoicism and still waste your life. Knowledge doesn't equal transformation. Action equals transformation. Repeated action equals lasting change. You become what you practice. If you practice distraction, you become scattered. If you practice discipline, you become focused. If you practice delay, you become stagnant. If you practice action, you become unstoppable. What are you practicing right now? What are you becoming through your daily choices? Look at your life, your results, your relationships, your bank account, your health, your happiness. They're all reflections of your practices. If you don't like what you see, change what you're practicing. Time is the only currency that matters. You can always make more money. You can find new relationships. You can learn new skills. But you can't make more time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Forever. No refunds, no do-overs, just gone. So when you waste an hour, you're not just losing 60 minutes. You're losing a piece of your life you'll never get back. That hour could have been spent building something, creating something, connecting with someone, improving yourself. Instead, it's just gone. How many hours have you already wasted this week, this month, this year? You can't get them back, but you can stop the bleeding. You can decide that from this point forward, your time is sacred. Your hours are precious. Your days are numbered. Make them count. Here's what I want you to understand. You're capable of so much more than you're currently doing. That feeling inside you, that restlessness, that dissatisfaction, that's not depression. That's your potential screaming at you. It's trying to wake you up. It's showing you the gap between who you are and who you could be. Most people ignore that voice. They numb it with distractions. They silence it with excuses. They bury it under comfort and routine. Don't do that. Listen to it. That voice is the most honest thing about you. It knows what you're capable of. It knows what you're avoiding. The Stoics would tell you to listen to that inner voice, to align your actions with your potential, to stop betraying yourself through inaction. You owe it to yourself to find out what you're truly capable of. Not someday, today. You're going to face obstacles, guaranteed. Things will go wrong. Plans will fail. People will disappoint you. Life will be unfair. The Stoics expected this. They prepared for it, not by avoiding challenges, by accepting them as part of the path. Marcus Aurelius said that impediments to action advance action. The obstacle is the way. When something blocks your path, you don't go around it. You go through it. And in the process of breaking through, you become stronger, more capable, more resilient. That hard thing you're avoiding, it's not in your way. It is the way. The growth you need is on the other side of that challenge. The person you need to become is forged in that fire. Stop looking for the easy path. There isn't one. There's just the path. Walk it. Some of you watching this are waiting for a sign. This is it. This is your sign. Not to quit your job recklessly. Not to burn your life down. But to start. To take that first step. To stop talking and start doing. You don't need more information. You don't need more motivation. You don't need better circumstances. You need commitment, decision, action. The life you want is on the other side of the excuses you're making right now. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start, once you actually begin moving forward, momentum builds. The first step is the hardest. The second is easier. The third, easier still. Not because the work gets lighter, but because you get stronger. 6 months from now, you'll wish you started today, so start today. Let's talk about regret. The Stoics feared very few things, but they feared wasted potential. They feared reaching the end without having truly lived. They feared becoming old without becoming wise. They feared time slipping through their fingers while they stood still. What do you fear? Really fear? Not spiders or public speaking, but the deep fear, the one you don't talk about. I'll tell you what it should be. It should be reaching your final days and realizing you never tried, that you let fear win, that you chose comfort over courage, that you had one life and you wasted it. That should terrify you into action, because that's the only failure that matters, not trying and failing. But never trying at all, you have everything you need right now. Maybe not everything you want, but everything you need. The question isn't whether you're ready. You'll never feel ready. The question is whether you'll start anyway, whether you'll choose action over comfort, growth over stagnation, life over existence. The clock is ticking. It never stops. Every second you spend watching this video is a second closer to the end. That's not meant to depress you. It's meant to ignite you, to shake you out of the dream, to wake you up to the reality that your time here is temporary. Make it matter. Make it count. Make it yours. Stop living someone else's life. Stop pursuing someone else's dreams. Stop wasting your time on things that don't align with who you want to become. Here's your final truth. Change is hard. Growth is uncomfortable. Discipline is challenging. But you know what's harder? Regret. Disappointment. Looking back at a wasted life, that's infinitely harder than the temporary discomfort of change. You can handle hard. You've handled hard things before. You can handle discipline. You can handle discomfort. You can handle the work. What you can't handle is living with regret, with knowing you could have been more, done more, become more, and you chose not to. So choose differently. Right now, today, this moment, stop wasting time, stop making excuses, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start, build, grow, fail, learn, try again, live, actually live, with urgency, with purpose, with the knowledge that every day counts. Because it does. Every single day counts, and you're running out of them. This is where we end, but it's where you begin. If this resonated with you, if this challenged you, if this made you uncomfortable in the right way, then do something about it. Comment below if this helped you. Consider subscribing for more Stoic lessons that will push you to become better. And share your thoughts in the comments. What are you going to do differently today? What excuse are you finally going to drop? I read every comment. Your commitment matters. Your action matters. You matter. Now stop watching and start doing